If you're moving to Springfield, Missouri, don't start by asking Zillow what are the best neighborhoods in Springfield. Start with where you gotta be at 8 a.m. the next morning, because Cox, Mercy, Bass Pro headquarters, Industrial Park, the airport, they all sit in different parts of Springfield. So in this video, I'm gonna help you choose your area before you choose your house. First, let's break down Springfield into a few main work areas. I'm gonna go to my computer, let's pull up a map. So right off the bat, you've got the medical mile area. That's where you're gonna have places like Cox Hospital, Mercy Hospital, the Myers Center. There's a lot of medical offices and healthcare jobs right alongside that South National area. Then you've got the industrial areas. So in the industrial areas, that's where you're gonna find a lot of manufacturing and warehouse jobs. So in that area, you're gonna find companies like French's, John Deere, SMC, you've got Cintas over there, and there's quite a few others. It's a massive area, tons and tons of jobs. A lot of people work there. Excuse me. Then you've got the college area, whether you're gonna be a student, you're gonna work on campus as a professor, maintenance, whatever it is that you're gonna do in the college area. We've got tons of campuses here in Springfield, but the big ones are Missouri State University, you've got Drury University, and then you have Evangel University, and there's quite a few more. Next, you've got the Bass Pro headquarters, which employs tons of people. Springfield is where Bass Pro originated, and so we've got tons of Bass Pro, and it's also the Cabela's headquarters as well, because, you know, Bass Pro bought Cabela's. But over in that area, you also have Coca-Cola, you've got some steel manufacturing plants, so that is the Bass Pro headquarters area. And then, finally, you've got the airport. So, the airport, it's not super convenient to everything, I'm gonna be honest, because it sits way up on the northwest side of Springfield, but we have a saying in Springfield that you're 20 minutes to everywhere, so it's really not that bad. And depending on your job, I mean, you might use the airport quite a bit, so you might want to live next to the airport. We also have several non-stop flights in and out of Springfield. I'm not gonna sit here and list every single one of them. I'll put them on the screen right now so that way you can see where you can fly direct. But let's talk about where I would live based on each one of these work areas. Now, before I move on, if I've already talked about your work area, and I've already showed it to you on the map, and you're like, hey, I already know that's my area, and I don't need to watch the rest of this video, that's fine. Go to the description below, and you can actually book a free 15-minute phone conversation with me, super duper easy. We can get on the phone. That way you've got boots on the ground, and I can go over some of the areas that you are looking in. But let's talk about where I would live based on these work areas. If you're working in the medical mile area, I would start by looking at the south side of Springfield. You could also look at Ozark or Nixa. Those areas are going to give you pretty easy access to the hospitals, and they're going to keep your commute fairly simple. Let's see here. You could even look at Republic or Battlefield as well. Those are a little further away, but you've got pretty good highway access, so the commute still is not horrible. Now, if you're working in the industrial areas, I'd start by looking at the east or the northeast side of Springfield. You could also look at Rogersville, Stratford, or possibly even Fair Grove. A lot of these jobs in the industrial area are very close to the highway, close to 65 and I-44. So highway access is really what I'd be thinking about whenever I'm working in one of these places. Because of that, you could even live a little bit farther away and still have a pretty simple drive. So if you wanted to live in Ozark, for instance, you could do that because you can just jump on 65 and take it up there to Industrial Park, or you can live on the north side of Springfield, like north of I-44, and that still wouldn't be bad. Now, if you're working at one of the universities, things get even easier because Missouri State, Drury, Evangel, they're all fairly close to the middle of Springfield, to the center of town. So honestly, you could live in quite a few different parts of Springfield and the drive wouldn't be horrible. If I were looking specifically around Missouri State, I'd probably just drop a pin on the campus and start with like a 3-mile radius. That's what I would do. Within 3 miles, you're going to have, a pretty decent commute. That's going to give you a great starting point. Obviously, the center of Springfield, you're going to have more traffic and stuff. So if you plan on living at the edges of Springfield or outside of Springfield in the metro area, then, obviously your commute is going to be longer. Even though technically you're still 20 minutes away, 15 minutes away, traffic is going to add a little bit. So I'd start with a 3-mile radius around Missouri State. So now if you're gonna work around the Bass Pro headquarters, or you're gonna work at Coca-Cola or something like that, I'd use the same idea whenever you're looking at Industrial Park. It's not super far from Industrial Park, but that's what I would be thinking about. Look at where your job actually is, drop a pin on it, and work your way out from there, and that's gonna help you a lot. That's really the whole point of this video. But I gotta caution you, don't fall in love with a house that's on the complete other side of town and then realize you're making that drive twice a day, 5 days a week. You don't wanna do that, especially in an area that you're not familiar with. Now, obviously, these are different parts of Springfield, and they're gonna have different kinds of houses and different price points. So, on the north side, you're generally gonna find more older homes and more affordable options. You'll see a lot of smaller houses, including plenty of 2-bed, 1-bath homes, and your budget there, not to quote me exactly, but you're going to be somewhere between $100,000 and $200,000 in the north side. It'll vary a little bit, but that's what you can expect for those older homes. Now, as you move over towards the east, you're going to start seeing more homes built in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and even newer. You're going to find a lot of 3-bed, 2-bath homes, bigger yards, and the neighborhoods are going to feel a little more spread out, and it's going to be a little bit of quieter streets than the north side. Then you got to get down to the south side of Springfield, and that's where you're going to start seeing more newer construction, larger homes, and some of the higher price points that we have here in Springfield. And generally, the farther south that you go, the more newer developments that you're going to run into, and higher priced homes. Now, there are exceptions to all of this. Obviously, Springfield has little pockets everywhere, whether you're on the north side, the east side, the south side. It's not a hard rule that this is how much stuff costs and these are the type of homes that you're going to find. But it's just a simple way to narrow down your search if there are certain things that you're looking for. And that's something that I can even help you with if you are moving here. So now let's talk about the west side of Springfield. It's a little different on the west side. It's not quite as handy as some of the major job areas that we've already talked about because of where it's located. Don't get me wrong, there are some really nice neighborhoods on the west side, and you're definitely closer to the airport. But if you're not going to be using the airport regularly and your job is on the east side or the south side, I'd probably look at some of these other areas first. And then we have all the smaller towns around Springfield. This is where you can get that slower pace and smaller town feel while still being close enough to Springfield that you don't feel like you're out in the middle of nowhere. You got places like Nixa, Ozark, Republic. You've got Battlefield, Rogersville, Stratford, Fair Grove, and several other surrounding towns. You'll find all kinds of different neighborhoods and price points in these towns. It's going to vary. It's going to be different. But if you're looking for more land, maybe an acre or more, these are definitely going to be areas that you want to look at. Now, they do have neighborhoods to where it's not just like, hey, if you're going to live outside of Springfield, you're looking for land, you can find a neighborhood and, you're still good. But slower pace, smaller town feel, really connected communities. I've lived in Springfield my entire 37 years on this planet, and if I were moving here today, I'd make this decision pretty simple. Figure out where you're going to work. Figure out which side of Springfield that makes the drive easiest. Then start looking at houses in that area, because there are good options literally everywhere around Springfield. Springfield is a great place to live. It is a great place to live. There's good options everywhere. So you just got to figure out which areas make the most sense for your life. Hopefully this makes your search a little bit easier. Obviously, I can't fit everything about moving to Springfield into one video. So if you have questions, I would love to help you through the relocation process. I can help you find your permanent home, but I can also, if you need somewhere temporary to stay while you're searching for a home, and if you're moving from somewhere else, I can help you find a temporary spot too, so that way you can, get settled in the area, learn the area, and we can also look for a place for you. If you want, you can book a free 15-minute phone call with me. There's a link down in the description. Just click that. It's free. It won't cost you anything. It'll be me. We'll talk 15 minutes, and I can help you find your permanent home and answer any questions that you might have. So if you want to learn more about Springfield, though, make sure that you subscribe, because I post new videos every week all about living in Springfield, Missouri.